Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev with me, Q Macro. That's DJ, or with me, DJ. That's Q Macro. How long have I been doing this? I still can't figure out what I want to say at the start of the live stream. But anyway, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you everybody for being here. It's Friday, 25th of September. It was a cold morning this morning. I took the car down to the garage to be serviced, left it there. Got the key through the letterbox there and ran back, and it was the first time since winter at the beginning of this calendar year that it was quite chilly. I think it was only about 4 degrees, so it's still still not anywhere near freezing or anything, but it just felt cold because the wind was cold today. So here we are. Welcome. I've got my coffee. I've just this second brewed it. I'm trying to make it at the last moment so it stays as warm as possible. And I've got my Italian biscuit. I seem to have like a million of them. I bought one pack. This is still the same packet that I bought probably about 6 or 7 episodes ago. So welcome, yes, welcome. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Shahid. Good morning, Tapio. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm looking forward to this. Well, I suppose I look forward to every episode, and seeing you folks on it makes it even more special and enjoyable. I've got just a couple of things to bring to your attention, then we'll just dive straight in. So this is episode, part 6 of our deep dive into enterprise messaging. Hey, Robertino, howdy to you. Howdy to you. Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see old friends from the live stream. Very good, very good. So let me know in the chat how you're feeling about messaging. Let me know whether this series, I think we're calling it a series. This series is useful. What you've learned from it, whether you're playing around with it already. Yeah, just let me know. I'd like to know, because it gives me, a sense of, am I doing the right thing? Am I talking about the right things? So there. So before we dive into the diving in, let me just switch to the main page. And there's a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention, both relating to Devtoberfest really, because we're right in the middle of Devtoberfest. If you don't know about Devtoberfest already, the home page is here. Let me just share that with you. There is a Bitly link as well, but let's use that one for now. Moin, Mark. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, Mark. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Devtoberfest, we're right in the middle. We're in week 5. If we look at the topics here, let me just go to the topics, and we can see that we had SAP Cloud Platform workflow in week 1. We had ABAP and RAP and the restful stuff in week 2 with Rich. Max and Tom gave us CAP in week 3. Week 4 was Marius with the Business Application Studio, App Studio, SAP Fiori Development. And this week has been Vitali, Marcus and Matthias talking about SAP HANA, all the multi-model facilities that SAP HANA has to offer. So we've come to the end of week 5 because basically I think the last videos of this week were yesterday, so I don't think there are any today. In fact, let's just double check. We can look at the topic. Always look at the topic page. Yeah, there we go. I think they've all been aired. Yes, they premiered yesterday. The last one premiered yesterday as well. So there we go. But there will be, if you look at the topic page, there will be, just like for the other topics, there will be office hours if you want to go and connect and ask questions and so on. Andrew, good morning. Good morning. You've been dreaming about it and not nightmares. Dreaming about Devtoberfest, which is good. Hey, good morning, Mahesh. Good morning, Mahesh. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So we've got the multi-model just finishing this week. And bear in mind, of course, that every single video that's premiered, that's aired already in the past, you can go back and watch them, right? So you can either just go to youtube.com/SAPDevs. You can also say /user SAPDevs, which will go to there, of course. And you can look, there's us live now. We're live. And you can check out all the different playlists. For example, I think there's a playlist for each of the different enablement topics there, so check that out. Or you can just go to the topic pages and go back. For example, you know, when we looked at the topic page for this week's SAP HANA multi-model, you'll see all that. You can click on the links to the video to view the videos. Okay, so the fact that they premiered is super exciting, but also you can of course go back and watch them. Same URL. So that's that. Oh, Shahid. Oh, questions. Trying to build a prototype. Great, a prototype with messaging. Okay. When a message is published to a queue, what is the importance of queue subscription? Good question. When a message is published to a topic, what is the importance of queue? Even better question. Shahid, these are fantastic questions. One sec. Question 3, how are queue subscriptions and webhook subscriptions linked? Brilliant. So first of all, kudos to you, Shahid, for asking the questions in the chat and getting involved. Brilliant. And also for putting really good questions, really easy to understand questions. So what we'll do, if that's all right with you, Shahid, is I'll just finish off the Devtoberfest news, and then that will allow us, your questions will allow us to dive back into where we were. Okay, so watch this space. Let's hold on to those questions in our mind. Anyway, there's Devtoberfest. Next week in Devtoberfest, we've got multiple topics. We've got cloud APIs, we've got extensions on Chrome, Google Chrome, and extensions on VS Code, because the Devtoberfest is all about us as developers making it easier for ourselves and for our fellow developers. And so, you know, building extensions, you know, in Google Chrome or in VS Code, which of course translates also to App Studio, is a super cool thing to be able to do, right? So check out this sort of timetable here. We've got all sorts of things. And in fact, the Cloud APIs topic that you'll be doing with me, there's a number of videos, and the exercises are in a new repo that's still private. So we can see that right now. In fact, if we go here, you'll see that here are all the exercises. Now, if you want the exercises for this weekend, like in advance, all you've got to do is go to this tweet and like it. And if we get 25 likes, basically, I'll make it available. Hey, Raghu, good morning. Samueli, good morning. Oh, wonderful to see you all. Wonderful to see you all. Okay, so that's that one. I don't know why I put rainbow. I thought you looked quite nice, so there we go. Rainbows are always good. Okay, so that is that. I think that's all the news, actually. Yes, I'm going to be referring to this SAP Online Track video shortly. One more piece of news. I think since last Friday, when we were last together, I've only done a couple of changes to our hands-on SAP Dev repo. If you're not aware, there's the repo already. So have at it, star it, fork it, send modifications, use the stuff. There we go. Yeah, I think in fact, just before, all I did was add a really simple utility, which I think we did last Friday, basically looking at an app, looking at the details of the app and grabbing the root and making it into a URL. So we can use that in the webhook subscription, which comes and brings us round to Shahid's excellent questions. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Robin. Nice to see you, Robin. Good beer check-ins, by the way. Ah, that coffee's nice. Again, this is the same coffee. Again, I keep getting it actually from the roasters that I sent to you, Andrew. The Miriam Perez Natural. Slightly funky. Morgan Volker. Morgan, nice to see you. So, oh, by the way, the whole point really of hands-on SAP Dev, sorry, not hands-on SAP Dev, of Devtoberfest, is that it's a celebration of developers and everything, and it's a whole learning sort of smorgasbord of things. But there we go, key dates. I meant to share this as well. Key dates. Look at the key dates here. Long time no see to you, Volker, as well. It's great to see you, and you've reminded me of something very important. Okay, so we've had the speed networking. Volker, you were involved in that, weren't you? And we're going to do a community open source week where all the folks who have not all of them, but folks who have submitted projects to be considered for Devtoberfest for the judging, right? They're going to come on and talk about the projects. So the whole point of Devtoberfest is A, to learn stuff together, but B, to build cool stuff for each other. Okay, so that's all described here on the homepage. Richard, is that the right pronunciation? I don't know why I said Richard, but I feel as though it should be Richard. Richard, welcome. You're regelt. I'm not sure what language that is, actually. I wish I knew. I'm so ignorant. Tell me what it is. Yeah, so the challenge is to come up with your own developer problem, and the reason why Volker reminded me of this is because Volker is one of the many heroes that have submitted an entry. In fact, PG, what's the stupid thing to search for? Where was it? Where is it? Come on. There. CDS-PG, PostgreSQL adapter for SAP CDS. Awesome project from Volker and from Wolfgang? Not Wolfgang, Gregor. God, too much coffee. Oh, Hungarian. Good morning, Richard. Fantastic. And hi to Pavan too. Brilliant. Okay, so there's examples. So check out these entries as well, right? There's the entries. Check those out to get an idea of what you might, it could just be a little bit of documentation, or it could be an amazing sort of project like, CDS-PG or Trick Trezor Tree Template or whatever, right? Contributors, Q Macro, is that me? What's that? Oh, DevToberfest, right. Oh yeah, a bit meta, but there we go. So, to Shahid's questions. And why don't we flip over here and we'll answer Shahid's question while looking at the messaging administration, because that will give us a nice overview of things. So let's just go to here already, right? We've got this thing here. We've got this open dashboard, which will open up the URL for the enterprise messaging dashboard. I need to log in again. There we go. Okay, so by the way, that open dashboard is just literally going to the dev instance here, getting the service information, grabbing the dashboard bit of information that comes out, and then passing it to open, which is on macOS, just opens it in the appropriate thing, right, which is the browser. Yes, in fact, as Volker is saying there as well, every contribution to the CDS-PG is welcome. It's not just, it's a project that was started by Volker and Gregor and other people, but contribute to it. That's the whole point, right? We help each other out. Exactly, no matter the size. What's Volker? What's WDI5? Is that? I can't. I've got quite a small font over here. I can't really see what it says. I've got a small font over here, so I can see the live streaming sort of what it's called. Like I can see the chat and I can see the stream information, and I've got my OBS thing over here as well. So it's like. Anyway, so finally, Shahid's questions. Let's get going. So the first question is, when a message is published to a queue, what is the importance of queue subscription, queue topic, and queue? Okay, now, we've got these three things here feature in your question, Shahid, right? So we have queues. Let's just go through the different things first. We've got these queues, which is where a message can sort of end up and be held for eventual consumption. Okay, let's just say that for now. A queue subscription, and I sort of agree with reading between the lines of your questions, the choice of the word subscription for queue subscription and webhook subscription is really confusing. I was confused by this as well. It's not a good choice of name, but that's what it is. Okay, UI testing framework. I apologize. Under the Beerware license, good license. Thank you, Volker. Thank you, Volker. So we have queues where messages sort of, get to and sort of wait to be consumed. Okay, so if you send the message to a queue, it'll sit there until it's consumed. Okay, it's either consumed straight away via a webhook subscription, but we'll come to that in a second, or it's consumed sort of, and a webhook subscription is a sort of a push. So the messaging service will push messages in a queue to a webhook that's subscribed. Okay, or a consumer can say, "Give me a message, give me a message, give me a message," and it'll consume it in a pull fashion that way. Okay, so those are queues, and there are messages in the queues. A queue subscription, think of it as a queue that is subscribed to a topic. Okay, so it's a relationship between a queue and a topic is quite sort of ephemeral. It's like this thing that doesn't really exist. It's almost like a tag, right? It could be anything, any string quite a few of the topics in S4, for example, you know, the official topics that S4 modules use have slashes in them as well. So there's like a bit of a hierarchy in the name, but essentially it's just a string. Now, if you publish a message to a topic, just a topic, okay, the message goes to the topic, and if nothing is connected to that topic, and I'm saying connected in a really loose sense, then the message will disappear, you know, just falls on the floor. Gone. Publish message. So I can be happily publishing, let's say I've got a topic hands-on SAP Dev. I'm publishing messages to that topic, okay? I don't care who is subscribed. I don't care who's listening. I would like people to listen, but I don't know. I don't care, whatever, right? This happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. But if you as a consumer want to get, you know, to be able to have these messages that I'm publishing to this topic, you've got to create a queue and then attach that queue to the topic, to subscribe that queue to the topic, okay? Because it's only through queues that you can consume messages, okay? Either by the push method, which is you create a webhook endpoint and get the messaging service to push the messages to that webhook, to your webhook, or you make calls that say, give me a message, give me a message, give me a message. So you've got queues where messages sort of live and wait to be consumed. You've got topics, which are sort of like, you know, airy-fairy, ephemeral things. Ooh, yeah, topic X, topic Y, topic Z. Publish a message to it. Nothing happens. But if you've got a queue connected to that topic, and of course you can have multiple queues connected to the topic because multiple people might want to be listening, then that message published to the topic gets sent to these queues, right? And then downstream from the queues, you have webhooks, webhook subscriptions. So if you want to consume a message from a queue, you can either say, give me a message, give me a message, give me a message, using the consume message call, one at a time, and you're pulling. Or you can say, I would like this app here. This is what we've been doing. This, you know, this app is an endpoint. It's an HTTPS endpoint. Okay, and I want any messages that appear in this queue to be automatically sent, bang, 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 to this endpoint where I can consume them, where I can receive them. Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much, and do whatever I need to do with them. Okay. So does that explain? I mean, it's a bit of a long-winded explanation, but does that explain the relationship good enough for you, Shahid, between queue subscriptions and webhook subscriptions? It funnily enough, I don't know why, but maybe this helps as well. But funnily enough, I've been experimenting only yesterday with visualizing these relationships, because at the moment in our hands-on SAP Dev space we've got 3 queues. I've left a little bit left in there. Okay, Shade, yes, thanks for confirming. Okay, good. I've deliberately left in it. So we've got a queue called hands-on, a queue called Q1, and a queue called Q2, and I've got some queue subscriptions. So the hands-on queue is subscribed to 3 different topics. So you can have one queue subscribed to multiple topics. I'm interested in topics T1, T2, and T3. But I just want one queue, okay? Because I'm interested in all of them and I want to consume all of them as one thing, right? So I just need to create one queue. So I'm going to create a queue and subscribe that queue to topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. So any message that's published to topic 1 or topic 2 or topic 3 gets sent to that queue, and then I can consume those messages. Okay, either via a webhook subscription or by saying, give me a message, give me any messages on the queue, give me any message on the queue. We've also got the other way around. We've got a topic called Hands-on SAP Dev, and we've got 2 queues subscribed to that one topic. Okay, because 2 queues, there are 2 groups of people or 2 applications or whatever wanting to receive messages that are published to the Hands-on SAP Dev topic. Jodelle, greetings, welcome. Nice to see you, Jodelle. Good morning to you as well, or good afternoon, good evening. And we don't have any webhook subscriptions, but we'll create one. Now, I think somewhere, actually, test Oh yeah, there we go, test.png. How about that? I was just playing around with GraphViz and describing what we've just seen, and I also, oh, there's some CAP things in there as well, which we'll come to. There's that sort of relationship might help us visualize that as well, right? So we've got down here, we've got the topics. We've got the queues that are subscribed to the topics. That's a slightly wrong tag. This is just a testing I was playing around with. And we've got webhooks that are subscribed to queues. So Shahid, if that helps, then let's dig into making the creation of dot files and feeding them into GraphViz effectively and generating these diagrams. Let's make that a thing we do together on another live stream episode of this series. How about that? If that's going to be useful? Andrew, question. If two queues are interested in the same topic, is the message cloned to both queues? Yes, it is. It is indeed. And we saw that in one of the previous parts of this series. What we did first of all, sort of deliberately incorrectly, where's the let's go to the channel, and in the diving into messaging on SAP Cloud Platform, if we look at part 2, it's either in part 2 or in part 3. Oh, here we go. No, it was in part 3, I think. Part 3. There's the benefit already of having these sort of whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, trying to. So this is having, our challenge was having, let's make that a bit bigger, having a message delivered to multiple recipients, which is sort of your question, Andrew, right? Part 3, Shahid. Part 3, thank you, Shahid. Awesome. And we tried, first of all, deliberately sort of, I was doing it deliberately wrongly so we could learn from it. Can you create multiple webhook subscriptions to the same queue? Well, technically, yes, you can. But that didn't result in the messages being, to use your term, Andrew, cloned to both webhook endpoints. The proper way to do it is to create two queues, creating two queues, and yes, there we go, creating two queues and queue subscriptions for the topic hands-on SAP, which is the reason why we've got this Q1, Q2, hands-on SAP Dev. So we've got two queues subscribed to one topic, hands-on SAP Dev, and then we attached webhook subscriptions to those queues. And when we sent a message to hands-on SAP Dev, that message got cloned to the two queues, which then, of course, were sent down to the webhook endpoints, 2 of them. So yes, the answer is yes. Okay, brilliant. This is fantastic. Great questions, and it really helps, I think, to solidify our cement our understanding of all these 3 fundamental different things. By the way, let's have a quick look. In fact, if we run that, if we look at the messaging script that we have, and that's in the repo, the link to, I've sent the link to. Thank you, Samuel. TDLR, brilliant. We can either receive messages right at the end, at the sort of the leaf end, right, the consumer end, by using a webhook subscription, having the messages pushed to that webhook, or we can explicitly say, and when I was saying, give me a message, give me a message, give me a message, give me a message, that's the consume message from queue API endpoint. Okay. So there we go. Brilliant. Okay, so we got, it was 8:24. We got over 25 minutes, just over 25 minutes to start looking at CAP and messaging, right? So just like always, we're going to take our time and see where we get to, and just make sure we cover all the bases. So we've got, what have we got? What have we got? Yeah, we'll keep these. This'll do. This'll do. Yeah. So why don't we start out by creating a little CAP application and try to define a service that will just send a message. Okay. Now, if we have a look in the documentation, right now, unfortunately, right now, the public documentation, there isn't much here. Okay. But I've seen a pull request from the folks in the team that should be coming to this page very soon. The pull request is being reviewed by now, right now, and it's documentation. So watch this space, but we can get a sneak peek because we're going to do it together. And in fact, if you want to have a sneak peek from a video perspective, back in whenever it was, May, Max and I did a code along where we hacked around with various things, including messaging. This was with CDS3, not CDS4, because we're with CDS4 now, so things have changed slightly, but it's definitely still worth watching that video because the concepts are exactly the same. So let's start. So I've got here, I think I've got the list global stuff. What have I got? I've got CDS-DK 300, and that's the latest. Okay, npm info SAP CDS-DK. Come on. Yeah, latest is 3.0. Okay, so we'll create a CAP project. Where are we? We're there. So CDS init CAP message. How about that? This is going to be in our repo, so you'll get this as well. Is that right? Is that a good name for it? CAP messaging? Yeah, let's create that. CAP message. Now in here, as normal, as expected, we've got all the wonderful goodness we get in a sort of a CAP skeleton project. So we got the app directory, we've got the DB directory, we've got the serve directory, all empty for now. We've got the package.json, which is very simple. It's just two dependencies, SAP CDS and Express. We've got a dev dependency of SQLite, but we won't be using that actually. And that's it. Okay, we got the README. So let's just get rid of everything we don't need. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't even need that for now. Okay, we're just going to define a service. So yeah, okay, let's delete all those. Okay, so now let's define a really simple service. So let's serve service.cds. I like this color scheme. It's quite nice, isn't it? And all we're going to do, let's call it hands on SAP Dev. And in that service, we'll define an action, okay, a no data action, just so that we can kick the thing to make it send a message. Okay, so let's do that for now. And you'll see with CDS4, one of the things that's changed with messaging, wonderful stuff where you can define events and topics with CDS annotations, but we'll come to that another time. I'm just going to do it really, really basically. So in fact, yeah, it's a function we want to define. Function send returns string. Okay, really, really simple. Okay, that's all we're going to do. In fact, I hate semicolons. I don't know why I hate semicolons. No, I don't hate them, but I don't like them in JavaScript or anywhere. And in fact, we don't need one here. If we had another thing here, right? Function something else, I guess, returns Boolean. See, we'd need a semicolon there to separate. So just like in JavaScript, semicolon is just a separator. Okay. Anyway, this is not a CAP thing. It's a It's a, what are we doing? Messaging. Okay, so let's define a function called send on a service called hands-on SAP Dev. Okay, and now, we save that. Let's define now split serve service.js. Okay, module.exports. This is the way that we start any sort of service implementation, let's call it. And let's just sort of go bit by bit and oh yeah, actually what we want to do is cd, come on, that's really weird actually. I've restarted my Mac and since the restart it takes ages for a new shell session to appear. Anyway, I don't know why, that's probably something I've done. Let's go in here, cds watch. Okay, let's do that. Let's do the thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's a solid state disk, but it's like really slow. Oh, it's listening. That's interesting. Service dot service dot SJ. That okay. Serve service dot JS. Sam Welly, I'm surprised you maybe you've said it and it's not appeared yet, but I'm surprised you service dot didn't say oi DJ you fool. It's JS not SJ. Let's write that. Oh, there we go. That's why I was wondering why there's no error, because I've only got half a bit of JavaScript there. So JS, there we go. Right. Okay, so we've got a well-defined service now. Okay. So I knew you were gonna say that's brilliant. Mr. Hawkeyes, for sure. Yeah, and Andrew spelling as well. I wish the delay was shorter, because the interaction here is wonderful, but it would be even better if it was like, you know, more sort of, you know, I could see what you were typing. You could see what I was doing straight away type thing. Samuele and Andrew, 10 points each. 10 points each. Okay, so let's where are we? Oh, there we're here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so what we need, const messaging, we need to connect to a messaging service. Okay, so messaging is cds.connect.to messaging. Okay, let's save that. And it's not really connected to anything yet. Local messaging is okay. So CDS or CAP supports different messaging brokers. Okay. Yes, that's the issue somewhere, the lag. You know, it's the YouTube live stream lag or the Twitch live stream lag or whatever. But I think we're okay. By the way, how's the stream quality? By the way, I'm getting a warning here that the bitrate is a little bit wonky. Matrix.org. Do I know about Matrix.org? I don't know. Is that that Matrix? I've been there before. Ooh. This is Matrix, open source project. Secure decentralized communication. That's interesting. No. Have you played with that, Andrew? Is that something that you're using? Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Matrix, decentralized communication. It reminds me a little bit of XMPP. Java was involved with a while ago, open standard. Interesting. Fascinating. No, I don't. I might look into that. Okay, so CAP supports different messaging brokers. It supports sort of in-process messaging within Node. It supports file-based messaging, local messaging, and it supports also the messaging service, enterprise messaging. So why don't we now, let's make this a little bit smaller there. Why don't we now open package.json as well? And it definitely does look interesting. And we'll add, let's just add it here, right? Let's add cds, requires, and we've got messaging, messaging. So this is what we're going to connect to. So the cds.connect.to messaging is this thing here that we're defining now, but the kind of message, well, in fact, let's just leave that like that, right? Let's leave that like that and that. There we go. Package.json. Okay, so it's still connecting to local messaging, but now if we can say here kind enterprise messaging, let's see what happens. Actually, I've literally not done this yet, but save that. Ooh, now let's go across here and zoom that in, and it says error. Oop, where are we? Error, cannot find module SAP XB message AMQP v100. That's exciting. So, as you know, so far we have been hacking around with enterprise messaging, learning about it from the management API perspective, but also the messaging API perspective, using the quote-unquote, single quotes, double quotes, single quotes, HTTP REST protocol. Why they call it HTTP, I don't know. But anyway, using HTTP. But if you remember, where are we? If we look in the service key, in the messaging, we get different protocols. AMQP there, MQTT, and HTTP REST. Okay, and it's the HTTP REST one that we've been using to send messages. Okay, because why not? It's nice and simple. We can see what's going on. We can look at the headers and the payloads and so on. Okay, so that is interesting. You mean the AMQP? Yes, exactly. So the broker will broker as a verb. The broker noun, the messaging broker, the noun, the thing, will broker verb, coordinate, arrange messages between different receivers and consumers using different protocols. So yeah, that's if that's like supposed to be an arrow between AMQP and HTTP, yes, which is really cool. So we don't want that anymore. Let's get rid of that. We were just looking at that just for reference purposes. So we've been messing around with HTTP REST, but out of the box, CAP supports and requires AMQP to talk to the enterprise messaging broker. So why don't we add that XB message AMQP, add that to our package.json and see what happens. This is the way that we like to do it, right? We just like stumble from one error to the next and learn and learn and learn, right? So let's just add it now. We're here. We're in package.json already here. So let's dependencies, paste that in. There we go. Oh, we'll have latest. Yeah, try that. Oh, okay, but we need to install it, of course. So npm, my watch has ended. I like that, my watch has ended. Npm install. So let's install that thing. Come to SAP Developers channel and get a functional grammar lesson also. Yes! Nothing is off the table. While this is installing, I'll have a bit of this. Oh, really good. Really, really good. Okay, so now we've got that installed. Okay. So, CDS watch. Come on, come on, come on. Definitely something wrong with my machine. But anyway. Now. What have we here? We've got a different message. No messaging, error message, no messaging credentials found. Hint, you need to bind your app to an enterprise messaging service or provide the necessary credentials through environment variables. It is a yes, Jodelle, it is a nightmare if your app doesn't work and there's no error. I love errors. Errors teach me so much more than no errors. And hopefully it's teaching us two things. So that's where we are. So we've got the XB. Well, actually, why don't we have a look at the that thing? Let's go to npm and search for. Oh no, search for what is it? XB message AMQP v100. Just to sort of contextualize that for ourselves in our brain. Provides a protocol implementation for AMQP version 1.0. So that explains the v1.0.0. I guess there are different versions of AMQP that are current, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wow, loads of stuff. RabbitMQ. Interesting. Client credentials flow. We know what that is, don't we? Resource owner password credentials flow. We know what that is too. So, XB message. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole for now. Let's go back here and see what we need to do here. Now, this is something that came up in the SAP Online Track 119, the video I've posted, the video recording I posted that me and Max, where me and Max hacked on some messaging. And it says here, you need to bind your app to an enterprise messaging service. We haven't got an app. Well, I mean, all right, it's this app here, but we're just running it locally. So we're not going to deploy it to the cloud platform, which means we're not going to get any sort of environment variables that we can grab with cf-env. So we'll have to provide the necessary credentials through environment variables a different way. So Samuel says with AMQP we should. I need to make this font one bigger. I'm not doing myself any favors. That's better. With MQP, we should achieve in-order delivery, but only on default service plan. Yes, exactly. AMQP does support in-order, but not on our dev service plan right now. The dev service plan, as we know, is going to be replaced by a new, developer-friendly service plan. What I've heard is it's not going to be until first quarter next year. Plenty good enough for us to play around with now and understand the concepts. Like we had that conversation from Shahid's questions, brilliant questions. So yeah. Okay, so now CAP CDS supports this default-env concept where you can supply environment variables in this default-env.json file. So why don't we do that instead? Where are we here? There we go. Let's kill that. And we've got a service key already, haven't we? In fact, I'll zoom that in. We've got a service key already. Where is it? Oh, hold on. The service key. Yes, of course. The service key is, where are we? See, there's that delay again. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the service key is here, isn't it? There, that one. I'm still editing it on another session, aren't I? I can see that the swap file. There it is. There's our service key, and this is more or less what we need. Okay, these are the credentials. Of course, we know these are the credentials. So these are the credentials that we need. And these are the credentials that CAP needs in order to connect to the enterprise messaging service, specifically the service instance that's described in here. So what we can do, and I was looking at this week, right? So rather than us sort of spend time hacking around too much, basically, if we CF, let's just do this. Let's do this again. Service key EM. In fact, let's just remind ourselves. CFT service. What are the services? What are the services? There it is. EM dev, enterprise messaging dev. So CF service. Oh, SK service key. What service keys do we have in the EM dev service? We've got a service key called SK1. Let's grab that service key. CF service key EM dev SK. Oh, not SK, sorry, SK1. It's that. So now if we pipe that into a file, and we'll have it in the CAP, what's it called? CAP, hands-on SAP dev, what? CAP, what was it called? CAP message default-env.json. Okay, so now, oh, sorry, I did touch by a mistake. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. So now let's go and edit cd cap message default-env.json. That thing there. Of course, we need to get rid of the cruft that we get from CF. Now, is this what we need? Is just a default-env.json with the contents of the service key? Is that what we need? Let's try it out. CDS watch. No, it's not. No messaging credentials found. Now, a bit of trial and error and sort of looking at the documentation, which is standard CF documentation, but it wasn't that great. But I've worked out in advance that actually all we need is to say vcap services. Okay, vcap services is an object where we have a node. You don't have to put anything in that node here, which is an array of objects where you've got a label, enterprise messaging, for example, and then credentials. Okay, so that's what the message is telling us it's looking for. Okay, Andrew, good call. If cat message is not the good name, what should we call it? Let us know in the comment. Let us know in the chat right now. What should we call it before I commit it? Let's change the name of the directory, because it's just a directory. It's cool. And of course, we'll change the name of the project in the package.json. So that is the credentials. And then, okay, I mean, effectively, that is there, right? And that's all we need. We need then to close off the, what is it? Close off that, close off that, close off that. Is that it? Oh, no, we need to close off that as well, right? JQ default-env.json looks good. Let's copy it to, I need a way of doing this nicer. Move x.default-env.json. I'm just reformatting it. There we go. There we go. So vcaps. So now we've got exactly what we got from the service key, but instead we've got this little outer layer that's basically saying vcap services, which is a well-known thing, right? So if we can say vcap, there it is there, CF environmental variables, vcap services. I looked at this when I was researching. There, vcap services, have a look at that. And it tells us what we need effectively. So there's an example, look, we've got vcap services. These are the services to which the application has a binding. There's no application here effectively, but we're pulling the vcap variables down locally anyway, outside of the cloud context. But basically, you can imagine that an application is bound to an instance of the Elephant SQL service and also the SendGrid service, fine, with some details, with some credentials, right? Different credentials, different services. And these are the credentials that we need here. So now, CDS watch, will that work? Yes, it's worked. So now let's just have a look at that. Let's just go back here, connect to messaging, enterprise messaging. Remember it said local messaging last time, but now we've defined in the package.json, we want a messaging of kind enterprise messaging. It's going to look for binding credentials that it's found in the default-env.json in the VCAP services. And it's saying, oh, there we go, fine. Sender app. Ah, okay, I see what you mean, sender app. Okay, yeah, let's do sender app. I was thinking we might do an app that sends and receives, but let's just do an app that sends. Okay, sender app, that's what it's going to be. Perfect. But now we've got something that is connected. Hey, Hemsagar! How are you? Nice to see you on the stream. Great. I hope you're enjoying the Devtoberfest. I think you've attended almost every video, haven't you? Oh my God, it's 9 minutes to go. Will we get something? Will we get something? Maybe not, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's just go across here. Let's get rid. Let's go across here. In fact, let's kill that one and say move sender. No, move CAP message to sender app. Yeah, sender app. And let's edit the package.json. Not that one, the package.json to say sender app. Okay, cool. Okay, we've got that so far, so good. And serve, we've got that. We don't need that one anymore. Connect to messaging. Now, in the last few minutes, can we do this? We've got this service hands on SAP Dev. We've got a send return string. So let's implement that now. So what we need to do is we need to listen for the send function. Okay, so just like you can listen for the create, reads, updates, you know, all those different sort of, let's call them just messages or events, right? They're just still events like anything else, and an action or a function is effectively an event. Everything's an event, right? Everything's an event. So what we want to do is when we receive a send event, of course it's in the context of a request, what we want to do is messaging, create a transaction from the messaging, and we can use this function, which is, I don't think it's documented yet, but it's, like I say, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Oops. Emit. Right? And emit takes, you can do a really simple version of emit, or you can pass an object. Okay, so let's pass the object so we can see what's going on. Event. We can send the topic name. So let's call the topic first topic, and we send the data, which is going to be, for example, I don't know, number 42. And we can also send some headers, but we're not going to send, you know, custom headers, but we're not going to send any headers, right? I'm not sure I like that sort of highlighting there. I can't see the bracket underneath the cursor. But anyway, I'll change that color scheme. Andrew, your watch has ended. Till next time. Thanks for joining, Andrew. Guess, ooh, there we go. So check back on the video to see if we get to the stage where we can, oh, there we go, serve on message. And then that's it. Okay, that's all, I think. Is that all we need? First topic. Now, the interesting thing is, let's see what it does. I mean, if it works, right? Let's see what it does. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Sender app Okay, so now let's go across here. Let's create a new thing and say curl localhost 4004, which is where this is listening, right? Listening on localhost 4004, and it's going to be hands-on SAP dev, because that's how we've defined it. Let's just go up here and just bring that in, right? Service, CDS, let's put it there, right? There it is, service.cds. What's going on? There we go, service.cds, hands-on SAP dev. So it's hands-on SAP dev, send, we better put that in quotes, eh? Let's see what happens. Ooh. Messaging.txt is not a function. Okay. What? Message. Ah. Ooh. Yes. Look. We got promises. Basically, it's asynchronous. So connect to is asynchronous, isn't it? So let's just fix that now. What's going on? Ooh. I'm all fingers and thumbs. I'm so excited. I'm all fingers and thumbs there. What we need to do is await. Okay. The connect to messaging takes some time and returns a promise. So we need to await that promise. I think that's the issue. So let's try it again now. Okay, in fact, we should return something, shouldn't we? We're expecting a string here, so let's just return okay, because we said, didn't we, that it returns a string. So let's save that. Oh, there we go. We get okay. Now, what has that done? Let's have a look at. Oh, I've still got it open, haven't I? Let's have a look at the dashboard. Refresh. Go in. 857. Queues. Queue subscriptions. It sent a message to the topic, but because there's no queues, it's not going to show up here, right? I think that's what's happening. So now if we message, no queue, we'll create a queue subscription to the queue, messaging management, create update queue subscription. What do we need? We need to for the queue, what do we call a queue? We call the queue first top. Well, the queue. Create update queue subscription. We need to create. We need to create a queue, don't we? We need to create a queue first of all. Create queue. Create queue. Let's call it queue. Okay, and now management. Create update queue subscription, and we need to subscribe to queue to the topic first topic. Okay, so now let's put that refresh on. Let's put that refresh on. There's the queue, and we've subscribed the queue to the first topic. So now let's send something. Let's refresh that. One. Let's do it again. Oh, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There. Send again. Let's send again. Send one more message. So what we're doing here is we're calling the function, the OData function, in this CAP service that will then be handled by this handler here, serve.onSend, and it will use the messaging connection to the messaging service that it's connected to via the credentials in the default env, and it will send a message. 42. Now, why don't we try finally to consume those messages? Messaging, consume message from queue. Data number 42. That's it. Okay, let's leave it there. That was a little bit rushed at the end, but it's 9 o'clock. Let me know in the chat right now if that was useful. All the comments, of course. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Let's pick up where we left off here right now, next Friday. We're just getting started. We've just got a little taste of sending a message from CAP to the queue that to the topic that we got a queue subscribed to. Hopefully that also shows a little bit more of the explanation from Shahid's questions. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.